Hey everyone, today we are diving into genetics. So, life begins with a zygote. Now, I hope you know what's zygote. Zygote is that single cell which which has 46 chromosomes. It has 46 chromosomes. Now, this differs for different species. So, human beings have 46 chromosomes. Only if we have 46 chromosomes, we are human beings. If we have lesser than that, there are problems, there are genetic issues. So, if, like a fruit fly has 4 chromosomes and let's say a dog has like 39 chromosomes. So, zygote is the first cell that is formed after the fusion of the male gamete. Male gamete, that's the sperm, with the female gamete, which is an egg in a human. In a human. So there, the fusion of the nucleus. So the nucleus which is present inside the sperm and the nucleus which is present inside the egg, they fuse to form the zygote, which has 46 chromosomes. Now, this zygote later on becomes the embryo, which eventually becomes the fetus, the baby, and then it comes into the world. Now, if we look closely, it contains chromosomes from both the father and the mother. It contains chromosomes from the mother and the father. Now, these chromosomes, let's see these chromosomes in this picture. Now, this picture here, it's called the karyotype. It's called the karyotype. Now, remember, this karyotype is an individual's complete set of chromosomes. So if you see, so here, when I say 46 chromosomes, it means that the father has contributed 23 chromosomes and the mother has contributed 23 chromosomes. So when we say 46 chromosomes, it means the mother has contributed 23 chromosomes and the father has contributed 23 chromosomes. Now, this karyotype that you see here, this karyotype, it shows the complete set of chromosomes in an individual. Now, this is like a laboratory produced image, okay? It's not really, this is how it is there in the body, but this is like, this is how it is. Like geneticists, they have to actually figure out which are the homologous chromosomes. Now, what do you mean by homologous chromosomes? So we just saw or we just heard that 23 chromosomes come from the mother and 23 chromosomes come from the father. So here you see this one pair is like kept side by side. Now this is from the mother and this is from the father. So homologous chromosomes are pairs inherited from each parent and have this, see if you observe, it has the same length, it has the same size, even the genes. Now here we will see what genes are. Even the genes are in the same position. So if you see the centromere, the chromosome is based on the centromere. If you see the chromosomal number is based on the centromere. So in the middle, you see this is the centromere. Okay, so let's get back. The homologous chromosomes are pairs inherited by the father and the mother. So what has happened is now they have kind of paired them up. The first pair, the mother's chromosome, father's chromosome, mother's chromosome, father's chromosome, mothers and fathers. So like that, they have paired them up. They have paired them up according to their size, shape, and also the presence of same kind of genes. Okay, so like that, if you see, you have how many pairs here? You have 22 pairs which are homologous. 22 pairs which are homologous. Okay, homologous chromosomes. But you can see that there is one pair which is not the same, and that's the sex chromosome X and Y. So you see X and Y. So X chromosome is a little bigger than the Y chromosome. So this is not a homologous pair, and they are called sex chromosomes. Okay, are we on the same page? Is everybody clear with what homologous chromosomes are? Now, the definition of homologous chromosomes are they are pairs inherited from each parent and they have the same length. Okay, let me use this. Say they have the same length, same size, same gene positions, and the centromere positions. So if you know that they have the same size, same length, and the same kind of genes, they are homologous chromosomes and they are inherited by the father and the mother, by both parents, from both parents. Okay. So these X and Y chromosomes, they are not homologous because they don't have the same genetic material. Now, where are all these chromosomes in a cell? Where are they found? They are found within the nucleus. They are found within the nucleus. So these chromosomes are all found within the nucleus. All the 46 chromosomes, or we can also call them 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay. Now, this cell, the zygote is also called diploid cell. Now, why is it called diploid cell? I think you might have kind of, understood by now that they are called diploid di. See, di means two. So they have two sets of chromosomes. They are called diploid cells because they have two sets of chromosomes. Now, tell me from where those two sets came in. One set came from the mother. So one is the paternal, that is from the father, and one set from the mother. So there are two sets of chromosomes. So therefore, this cell, the zygote, is called a diploid cell. Homologous chromosomes have the same DNA and similar genes. Like for example, let's take this is, let's take this pair, okay, the third pair, the third chromosome. So this comes from the mother and this comes from the father. So now imagine there is a gene which is responsible for eye color. Okay. So this gene is from the mother and this gene is from the father. So this gene is responsible, these genes, both the genes are responsible for eye color. Okay. And then you have another gene in the same pair of homologous chromosomes, which are responsible for the nose shape. They are responsible for the nose shape. And another gene, which is responsible for, say, the enzyme, the formation of an enzyme. Okay. So maybe the structure and function of an enzyme. So this gene is responsible. So here, if you see this gene, this position is called the locus, or plural is loci. So both chromosomes, they carry genes that determine, now this chromosome as well as this chromosomes, they carry the gene that determine the eye color, nose shape, and the function of the enzyme. So such genes are called alleles. They are called alleles. Okay, A-L-L. Let me write that clearly because you should not get confused. So they are called alleles. So alleles are different forms of a gene, different forms of a gene. Like for example, the mother, she has blue eyes. The color of her eyes, blue. And the father's eyes are brown. So whatever it is, whether it is blue or brown, the gene for eye color is at this position, at this loci. So the positions are the same. The positions of that particular gene which gives the color of eye are called alleles. So what are alleles? Alleles are alternate forms of a gene. So genes at the same loci. So genes at the same, what is loci now? Loci is the position. So genes at the same loci, okay, on homologous chromosomes are called alleles. In simple words, they are alternate forms of a gene. Alternate forms of a gene. Hope this is clear. If this isn't clear, comment and, raise your query. Inshallah, I will try to answer it. Now, what you see here are single structured chromosome. Let me draw one pair. Okay, let me draw one pair. So this is a single structured chromosome. They are like a pair of chromosomes. They are single structured chromosome. Now, if the cell, the zygote, like one cell, zygote is one cell. Now, how did that one cell become a baby? How did it grow? So it grew by a process of cell division, which is called mitosis. So we will learn that in a moment. We will learn the process of mitosis. But before that, you should understand what a single structured chromosome is and what a double structured chromosome is. So this is a single. Now, whatever here you see the picture, the karyotype that you see here are all single structured chromosomes. They are single structured chromosomes. So what I've drawn here is also a pair of homologous chromosomes, which is a single structure. Now what happens is, now this is the centromere. The centromere of the chromosome is where the chromatids are attached to. So this part is called the chromatid. Okay. So now what happens is this chromosome will duplicate. Like, it will, like, if this is a chromosome, it will duplicate. It will duplicate. This is how it will duplicate. Okay, let me use another color so that, it is easy for you to understand. So here, the chromosome duplicates. So now, what is it called? This is called a double structured chromosome. This is called a double structured chromosome. So remember that this is also one single chromosome or a pair of homologous chromosomes. This is also one single chromosome. Okay, so don't get confused. So this is also one single chromosome. This is also one single, but this is a one single structured chromosome. This is one single chromosome, but a double structured chromosome. Hope this is clear. Now, why is this duplication important? Why should it duplicate? See, there are 23, there are 20, let me change the color here. So there are, if you see the karyotype, there are 23 single structured chromosome from the mother. And there are 23 single structured chromosomes from the father. Okay. From the father. If you look at the picture itself, you'll be able to see. So now, why is it important for this duplication? This duplication is necessary to ensure that there are enough chromosomes to be distributed into new cells. Now, how did this one zygote become a full-fledged, like how did it grow into a baby, into a fetus, and then into a baby? So for that, they need to also, first of all, duplicate the chromosome. They have to become double structured. This duplication is necessary so that there is enough chromosomal or genetic information, genetic material to be passed on to new cells. So that is what we are going to see in mitosis. So mitosis is a process of cell division where new cells, new daughter cells are formed with the same genetic information. New daughter cells are formed. Okay, so let's see what is mitosis. So mitosis is a process where the cell replicates its chromosomes. So if you see here, this is called the parent cell. Let's name it as the parent cell. Let's not call it as a zygote now. Let's call it as the parent cell. Now this parent cell is a diploid cell because it has two sets of chromosomes. One is from the mother and one from the father. So then the first stage, what happens is these chromosomes, what do they contain? They contain DNA. They contain DNA. Okay. Now the DNA in it will duplicate. So the chromosome now, it becomes like this. They get duplicated. So one, replicate or duplicate. So why do they need to replicate or duplicate? Because we need to make the same kind of species over and over again. Okay, so they duplicate and then they form, like, they kind of come in the middle and form a line like this, and they are pulled apart to the poles. So this is called the pole of the cell. So they are pulled apart onto each side. Okay, the duplicated chromosomes are pulled apart onto each side. So once that is kind of achieved, there is kinesis of this cell happening. Kinesis is breaking. So this process is called cytokinesis. I'll show you a better diagram, but please try to understand this first. So now what happens in the end, there are two, let me tell you, there are two daughter nuclei formed. There are two daughter nuclei formed. So these are the two daughter nuclei. Now these daughter nuclei are also diploid. So remember in mitosis, the parent cell, like, if you see the cytoplasm also increases in size. So now this cell is the daughter cell. It will also increase in size and later on undergo mitosis. So first of all, understand parent cell, which is diploid, which has 46 chromosomes, two sets of 23, or you can say 23 pairs of chromosomes, which duplicate first, then they are pulled apart. The chromosomes are pulled apart to the poles, after which there is cytokinesis happening. That is, the cell undergoes division and two daughter cells are formed, which are also diploid. So mitosis will give rise to two diploid daughter cells. Okay, now what we will do is, I will show you a better picture so that, it is even more clear. Okay, let me delete this. I'll clear this diagram now. Yeah, so look at this. If you want, you can kind of copy this down. Okay, so this is the process of cell division. So here you see how this nuclear membrane, this is the nuclear membrane, the nucleus and the chromosomes. So DNA is replicated. So you see that X-shaped chromosomes. So each chromosome has been duplicated. So here they are showing you, like I showed you two chromosomes, here they are showing you two pairs of homologous chromosomes. What I had showed you earlier was one pair of homologous chromosomes. So the nuclear membrane will break, the chromosomes will line up in the middle like this. And then they will be pulled to the poles. So once the chromatids have been separated, the cell begins to divide. And what is this called? This is called cytokinesis. This is called cytokinesis. So once cytokinesis occurs, two genetically identical daughter cells are produced. Now, what is the importance of this? All body cells, or we can just call them somatic cells. So all somatic cells, except for gametes, that is the sperms and the eggs, except for them, all cells undergo mitosis, and they are important for replacing cells. For example, a skin gets grazed or it gets burnt. How come we get new skin cells formed there? It is because of mitosis. Red cells die after a certain period, so there are more red cells produced. So how is that happening? Because of mitosis. Okay, and an individual grows. So mitosis produces new cells for growth and to replace damaged or dead cells. Not only here, even wherever you see asexual reproduction happening, we have mitosis, the process of mitosis happening there, where they produce genetically identical offspring to that of the parent. So this is for today. In our next video, we'll discuss what is